Hello, and welcome to the Holistic Health and Hormones podcast, where we explore the many layers of fertility, healing, and whole body wellness. In today's episode, we're bringing to light a side of the fertility journey that's often left in the shadows, the emotional experience of men. While much of the focus tends to be on the woman, men also face deep emotional challenges, identity shifts, and a silent grief when navigating infertility. We'll be speaking with our guest, Ivan Chu, who shares his raw and honest perspective on how infertility affected his emotional health, relationship, and sense of self, and what support really looked like for him along the way. Whether you're currently trying to conceive, supporting a partner, or simply wanting to better understand the male experience of infertility, this conversation offers a powerful reminder emotional healing is a shared journey and not just a solo woman's one. So let's dive in. Hello, and welcome to the Holistic Health and Hormones podcast. I'm super excited to have my dear friend Ivan Chu. He is an IVF partner, an advocate, counselor, coach, and he has been navigating 6 years of IVF through multiple specialists. He was on an emotional roller coaster, and Ivan realized something crucial, that there was plenty of support for the people undergoing treatment, that partners often get left behind. So he has combined his lived experiences with qualifications in psychology, counseling, project management, and 15 years of improv coaching. Ivan focuses on empowering IVF partners with the tools, strategies, and emotional support they need to navigate fertility treatments without losing themselves in the process. So welcome, Ivan.
Thanks, Ellie. Thank you. It's an honor being on the podcast.
So tell me a little bit about, obviously you've gone through a lot. Tell me a little bit about sort of how you navigated the whole emotional roller coaster, a little bit about the background of just the whole journey for yourself from a male perspective, because I look at a lot of it from a female perspective, and we forget that the men actually do have emotions, they do have feelings, and they themselves are also struggling in their own ways. So I'd love to hear about your story and what you do.
Okay, cool. All right. Wow. We are older parents. We met my wife and I later in life. So we kind of suspected that we might need assistance anyway, but so we tried natural. I think we had one miscarriage, and thought, okay, we'll try IVF. So we went to see one specialist, and we hadn't talked to anybody. So about IVF, we did ask a few people that we knew in our circle of friends, but none of them had gone through IVF, so it was a bit hard. So we were basically going to wilderness, right? So we went to one fertility specialist. I won't name names, and they said we went to the initial meeting, and they went, all right, set us both down, told us about IVF, and then said, all right, and they ran through. They didn't even mention any cost at all, and then they said, all right, you got to sign this. And we can't. If you don't sign this, we can't start. I go, whoa, hang on.
Didn't we give you a minute to even think about anything? It's like, yep, here you go.
Yeah, not a minute to think. We can't even read and digest the material, let alone discuss it between each other as partners going into this.
Right.
And we thought, no, if this is going to be rushed this way, we don't want to be part of you guys, and then we left. So we went to see another specialist, and by then we had did a bit more research and found the cost wise, and you go on Google reviews, and oh yeah, these people are great, fantastic. I've got 2 months Google reviews. So we went there, and that first specialist we actually went through, I think in hindsight, after we left them, she was particularly used to dealing with younger couples, not older couples. So when my wife had gone through really big bloating, bad emotional changes, rash and all that stuff, the specialist said, oh, no, we'll just increase the dosage of the drugs. And then it made it worse, and she gained a lot more weight as well. And then the emotional bit was tough, and I didn't know how to handle that.
So what were the emotions that she was going through?
She was, she was distraught, easily upset, crying, sad, angry, just blows up, and then she regrets it straight away after that as well. And then I wasn't prepared for that, because there's nothing.
So what were you feeling? What were you feeling in those first?
Well, first off, I was feeling helpless, especially when she's sad. I don't know how to help. Whatever I do doesn't help, because you can't. He's in a hormonal imbalance, right? I don't know how to deal with that. And we weren't told that we weren't.
I know, you're a guy. It's like, it's
step out of it.
Come
period.
On. Like the typical period, sort of hormones, right? As
Oh,
opposed to now it's all ramped up 1,000-fold.
it's all ramped up, and it's not just a week. It's ramped up, and so then at the same time, then when she would get angry, you drop her hat, then you go, oh, I'm attacked. What the hell did I do wrong?
Mm.
And then you start feeling, well, you and I, the guy, will start feeling a bit of resentment. Say, well, this is bullshit, right? What the hell did I do? I'm trying to be supportive as much as possible. And I guess while you're in the thick of it, you don't realize that that's causing you stress as well. And then in yourself, and then that's causing stress on the relationship. And that's what you don't want, right? Through the IVF journey, Jesus Christ, you want the most supportive element as much as possible.
But how can you not stress, right? I mean, like that, you're both going, like say, okay, don't stress, and then you can conceive easier. Well, yeah, right. I mean, the worst thing people say to you is like, well, just be calm, de-stress. It's like, it's a heightened stress situation.
The other thing we also got throughout the 6+ years was that think positive.
Yeah.
Just think positive. So then that itself, right, doesn't go well, because then you think, oh, am I not thinking positive enough?
And you're like one of the most positive guys I know. Right. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah. So imagine if you can't think positive, what are other men thinking?
Well, then that leads to a downward spiral, right? So, and right now, the wife partner is in a vulnerable state. And back then, is my mind said, okay, I've got to be the man, strong, macho, be the stoic stone rock, be supportive. But that's not what's needed. The needed is the gentle hand. I'm going to be there for you. Let's sit down. If you want to cry, let's just cry.
So you've got to basically tap into your feminine.
Absolutely. Right? And not the traditional male, I'm going to hold the world in my hands.
Or they get scared when a woman is so vulnerable or crying. It's like they just retreat. It's like they don't know what to do if they don't know how to tap into that feminine aspect, because that's what a girl wants. They want another almost female to be there, but not their best friend, because they don't want to share what they're really going through. So if your partner isn't tapping into that feminine aspect, and a lot of men don't know how to do that.
A lot of men are typically solution focused, right? They go, okay,
give me the answer.
Give me the answer. I want to solve this. It's like, well, yeah, guess what? It's not just you solving it. It's both you guys solving it.
Yeah.
You need to actually communicate. But 6 years. So 6 years, 7 specialists throughout those 6 years. Went through the first one. The first one went to, like, we just pump more drugs, but they didn't even test me, which is insane. And because we're in it, we don't realize it, because we're in an emotive state. We can't take a step back, logically go, wait, hang on. Traditionally, you go, yeah, it's about the woman. No, it's not about the woman.
No, it's 50-50.
50-50, right? So then, by chance, we had to get my sperm tested, and they found out fragmentation was high.
Yes.
So, well, hang on, we've done like two cycles, and no one had tested me until now. By chance.
So fragmentation is when there's an issue with the chromosome in the sperm, and that affects conception. It's where all the DNA information is held. And so when that is really high, and most times if people have been on a poor diet, they're usually smokers, vapors, just really poor health, like fragmentation is extremely high. And that is not a standard test for those out there. It's not a standard test you go through for Medicare. They just test the standard motility, morphology. And even then it's not super accurate, because a lot of the testing equipment is not the same as if you're going through a private clinic. And that is an external cost, which is usually quite high. And most people aren't getting that tested. And like you said, you've been through already a couple of rounds, and that is usually one of the first things that we need to check for. So,
and the interesting thing is that they didn't mention about diet, and they didn't mention about exercise. So then what they recommended for me was varicose So I said, okay, being the person that want to, be in this, we want a kid together. My wife's gone through like 2 rounds now of basically nothing and just basically bloated crap, right? All right.
Now they want to start attacking, start working on you, and it's like, you're the one with the problem.
Yep, let's do this then. Let's do varicose embolization. Cool.
Yeah.
Did that. And, didn't work again after that. Conception didn't work. Fertilization didn't work. And, in between, I was on and off in between. We actually had 2 naturals and miscarried at 7 weeks, each one.
So you obviously realized that you could fall pregnant naturally.
Well, yeah, but then we went to the next specialist, the other specialist, I think specialist 2, 3 now. And they said, why did you do the embolization? Obviously, you were natural conception.
Exactly.
Son of a... And that cost me money. It wasn't that much pain, but it just took the day out, right? And all of a sudden
you're extracting it straight from the source, which is not pleasant. From the source.
Right. And I think from then I went, hang on, not everybody's Not everybody is after your well-being.
Exactly. And also, everyone's got their own take, right? You got the first person that didn't look at your sperm analysis. The second one's like, let's do varicocele embolization. And then the third one's like, well, you can fall pregnant naturally. Let's look at something else, and everyone's got a different take. And you're like, well, what do we do? No one's
That's
giving
right.
you the true answer as to why nothing's happening yet.
Yeah. So, and it kept going on, right? So then we even went to a specialist that were trying cutting edge technology by using stem cells, extracting the blood. I think extracting the blood from the ovaries and spitting it and injecting it back in again. That didn't work either.
So you're basically lab rats.
Yeah, but we paid for the honor of being lab rats.
You paid to be lab rats.
We paid for the honor of being lab rats, not just financially, but I think the biggest thing was mentally, emotionally. And throughout the time, I found it difficult. And I couldn't talk to my friends about it. You and I both got mutual friends. I couldn't talk to them about it. I tried talking to them about it.
Well, there's no one in your circle of friends has gone through that.
No, and
women, it's a bit different, right? It's so different. So let's just look at the masculine, the way a female handles what they're going through in terms of IVF or even difficulty with conception, whether they're going through IVF or not, just the infertility journey, and then the way like a would potentially handle it. Let's talk from a male perspective. So you're saying that, your circle of friends, obviously no one's gone through it to the same extent you had. So how did you manage, how did it affect your sense of identity when you realize, okay, no one's going through it? There's no support groups out there. What's happened to your self-esteem? What are you thinking all this time?
Is it me? And I even discussed it. And I guess I'm probably more open with my wife than some guys. Not every guy, but yeah. I did.
Well, also with your psychology background and your counseling background, like, did you think that was obviously it definitely helps in some way, as opposed to, which men have that many experience with, with psychology and, mental emotional strategies of handling stress?
I think it helped. I think it helped. And the reason why it helped, because it helped me understand that there's a particular neuroscience with the drugs as well with it. It's not just her, and also the counseling component to it. I'll tie in improv too, right? So the improv thing is, you want
to explain to people what improv is? Yeah,
improv is improvisational theater. So most people will go, "What's improv? Oh, the show Whose Lines It Anyway?" That's funny.
Yeah, right. That's a funny show,
right? But the whole thing with improv is that the whole yes and, right? So someone gives you a topic, you go yes and, you build up on it. You don't reject it. But the line the principle that resonated with me most during the IVF journey was that in the improv scene on stage, the most important party or person in that scene isn't the audience, isn't you, it's the other person.
You have to pretend the audience isn't there, right? It's like you're just
absolutely the audience is not there. You support
you're communicating with.
Correct. You support the other person. You make that person look good. The scene will be fantastic. So same relationship as well. You support your partner. Your partner will feel supported, and that relationship is a lot stronger. Particularly in this very minefield roller coaster journey that's IVF. So how do I deal with it? Oh, communication. I even mentioned the lowest low at that point. Throughout the 6 years, I said to my wife, I think maybe, I don't know whether are you better off with a different guy.
So you were giving up in a way?
Yeah, that can help.
Willing to walk away?
Willing to walk away, because I felt like I was causing all this, because we talked about it, and I would probably wanted a kid more than she did. Mm-hmm. And then she said, we're just doing this for you. And, it could be partially the hormones talking as well. But then, and it wasn't just me, blah, just lash out. It was me actually thinking about it as well. Maybe this is me. Maybe this is causing them so much pain. It's better off if she's that's not with me. Mm-hmm. Because I don't know how to deal with it. Everything I do is making it worse. But luckily, open communication helped settle that. That wasn't the case. And then from there, it's okay. I'm too much deep down into the emotive side. Let's take a step back. And because I've been in project management since 2005, right? Let's take
it's just like a project for you.
Yes.
Go into project mode.
Yes, take project mode, because project manager shouldn't be any emotions invested into it. So let's put invest the emotions into your partner, the wife. But the whole process of IVF, let's take it as a project management.
Yeah.
So there has to be
step by step, and go back to the beginning and work out what do we need to do step by step to get the outcome, to get this project a success. We'll make this project a success.
Correct. Step by step. What's your framework? What's your exit strategy? What's your end goal? All that stuff. Right. And then after that, a lot better. because then I can invest. The emotions aren't getting twisted.
Yeah, you're removing the emotions out of it.
Correct. But then investing, saving that emotion investment specifically, not on the journey, but for the wife.
So how did you and your partner communicate? Like, what were some of the strategies? You said you communicated better. What did you do that made the communication better? Did you sit down and really open up? What are some of the strategies that you used for supposedly communicating better? Because a lot of partners, like especially for the male, what are some of the tips that you could say to actually help them communicate with their partners who are struggling? And many people, on average, if they're going through IVF, takes 4 to 5 rounds to get pregnant, let alone, a live birth, which could be even longer. So, yeah, what are some of the communication strategies that worked for you?
My wife likes the beach and camping.
So you go to the beach and camping just to
I do not like any of those.
out of your own house.
Out of my own house. I don't like any of those. But that because of going through that the drugs and the hormones, that's probably the best bit, right? So find out what is your wife like doing, the environment that she likes being in, right? Go there, get a bit more relaxed state if she can, and then just have an open discussion. It's no judgment. And I think the critical thing is that to frame
and
out
blame, right? Remove the blame for
no blame.
Yourself and blame on them, right? It's no one's fault.
No, sorry. And it's an often used phrase. I don't like using it, but I'm going to say it. Shit happens, right? It's life. You guys got to deal with life that the world throws you away. And what better way to deal with life is with someone next to you.
Mm-hmm. So well, that's why you got married through thick and thin, right?
That's why you get married. You can
say our vows, right? We're going to go through struggle.
Yep. You can either grow. You can grow. Everybody grows, right? As individually. But you can either grow up together or you can grow apart. And having the communications, particularly during IVF, is that extra step for growing together. So go to some place that she loves, be in an environment that she loves doing, even if it's just by the pool or a favorite cafe. Just obviously don't sit in the open air in a cafe.
Yeah.
Bit secluded. And then just have the conversation, frame it up initially and say, hey, look, I want to just share my emotions, see what you're feeling as well. No judgment, no blame, just open. And can we just agree to that? And then after that, let's do this. All right. So there's a set time frame. So you're not going to mull over it. You probably will, regardless. But then you plan the next activity. You're doing the next activity already. And then if no matter how much you say no judgment, no blame, there is going to be a bit of tension.
Blaming yourself. If you're not blaming them, you feel inadequate as yourself, especially from a male perspective. You're like, well, if the test came back, it's me, I'm the one to blame, right? So yeah, it's hard when you have to stay strong and suppress your emotions for your partner's sake.
Yeah, absolutely. And the whole stoicism, right? Stoicism as a macho male does not work.
Especially if you're the one with the problem per se.
Absolutely. And
it's getting worse, right? They're saying, male fertility has increased 50% worse than in the last 50 years than it's ever been. And it's a various different things. From what I've seen, it's the environment, it's the stress, right? It's a poor diet, lifestyle. It's a whole range. And it didn't happen overnight, right? It can happen to people young and old. I've got couples who are as young as, sort of in their 30s having male fertility issues. So it's not an aging. People think, oh, you're older parents, like you said, but it's not necessarily an age factor.
And to be very honest, I think partly from my side it was health, really. I love my food. I love my junk, right? But even my testosterone levels were lower than normal. So my wife, being an ex-personal trainer, she said, lift weights. So you end up lifting more weights, right? So and that helped. That helped with the sperm, increased my testosterone as well. But then there's a double-edged sword as well. So by increasing your testosterone, you also can potentially get more short-tempered, right? And in the IVF journey, when there's high emotions and you're short-tempered, it doesn't help. So that's also
when your partner's short-tempered,
right?
So you're both like,
yeah, you're right. That's right.
Fuses are out to burst.
Yeah, and it's not, and there's not a nice feeling, no experience.
When you're both on edge,
both on edge, but you're just trying to achieve the same thing, the same outcome, but not fully understanding each other. That's the.
So what advice would you give to other men about showing up for their partners? Because you're so supportive. You've gone through, that supportive, connected journey. And for many, I've seen some partners who don't want to make the changes. Clearly their sperm has come back. Their analysis has come back not great. And they're like, well, why should I give up smoking? That person got pregnant and they didn't stop smoking. Or some of them don't even want to get tested. Some of them put it off for the longest amount of time. But I just want to share, how important is it if you're going through this journey with your partner that you really are there as as a unit, right? You're supporting them through supporting yourself if it is you that has a problem as a male, right? What can you do to really, up your game? Because a lot of men out there, and I have to say, are not doing 100% or 110% invested into this partnership of having a child.
I'm gonna apologize in advance because this is I guess getting my goat a bit right when men don't get involved. So I might swear. I probably will. So what I'll say to guys, if you're not invested in this journey, cut the bullshit. Okay, you married or you're with this person by choice. You're committed to this person. The commitment is not just half-assed and one way, like for her only. It's you as well.
But it's also how much do they want to have a baby, right? I asked that question, right? If you're invested into your health, and the thing is, it has to not even be just about the child. The child is a byproduct of being in optimal health. Like you said, your health wasn't great. When you got your health better, it's also, for me, I see it as long-term health outcomes, right? First of all, don't even worry about that baby. That baby will come when both you and your partner are in the optimal health state.
Well, can I just put it a bit further? Even after you have the child, you will need your health.
Oh, yeah, you got to run after that child. Like, if you don't think you've got energy now, right? Running after a toddler in your later years,
Absolutely.
It's energetic.
My 3-year-old is basically my weights right now when I help pick her up.
I know, right? You don't need to go to the gym. You just run after her and you lift her up, and yeah.
But that's the thing. You need to get fit. Health is paramount. And yeah, what you raise is correct. Do both of you really want a kid? And if you don't really want a kid and you're going through this, then there's bigger issues at play.
Well, even now they've shown that if you do show up, like I said, testosterone levels are low, it's actually taking 10 to 15 years off your mortality. So if that's not something to, whether you have a child or not, you're looking at your lifespan and your health span right now. So it's all about hormones. It's all about looking after your health from early on so that we aren't coming across these problems. That's the thing. I think most people aren't checking themselves earlier until, like you said, you are on the fertility journey, which is a big thing.
And can I just say as well, as I think, because IVF, the concept of IVF is out there. Oh yeah, we can't get pregnant naturally. You got IVF,
and you think it's the first time. Oh, it's like a quick fix.
But they don't look. Typically, specialists aren't going to tell you the negative facts to it.
Like you are going to be like the whole list of side effects.
All the side effects.
You need IVF and sign here before you can change your mind.
They're not going to say that. Oh, by the way, you're going to be have this emotional turmoil for this period,
and your marriage could end.
Correct.
Right?
They don't tell you that, right? So going into it, you go solution, bing, science. Yeah, it's not that.
It's a quick fix. People, they think it's a quick fix,
and it's not that.
And for some it may be, but for many, like yourself and many couples out there, it is a very arduous, long, like I said, physical, mental, emotional, financial journey.
But that's what, and that's what where we talked about in other times that I agree with you holistically. You need to look at this holistically. It's not just this. It's not just the IVF science of it, right? It's not just the gamete and pipette and all that stuff. It's your body and it's your both your external and internal health. As in when I say that, is your body, but also your mental capacity and your emotional capacity as well. If you can't manage that, then maybe you're not ready. Or if you're not ready, if you want to take the next step up, then you got to work on it together, not just one side. And you have to show up with your partner and show up to the appointment. I get it. Sometimes work, you can't leave work. Fine, but sometimes you can dial in remotely. Some specialists do it. We can dial in remotely. Do that on lunch break, whatever. Show up, right? Show up and with your partner. They're going to go through the most physical changes, right? Yeah. Then typically you will, right? Unless you've got other factors in play, and then they'll have to carry for 9 months.
Yes,
that in itself, and that's another part of that journey. We're not even covering that part yet. We're just covering the part.
This is just a preconception part, which is
absolutely.
Yeah, you're in for a ride.
So this is long term. This is a long term thing that you need to be invested into it properly and understand that you are really into it. If you're not really into it, you have to have the conversation and dig down deep inside yourself and with your partner. Why are we doing this?
Yeah. And so would you say, are there some things that you wish you'd done differently to support your own mental, emotional well-being, your health? What are some of the things that if you could go back now, right, to prior to the 6 years or even earlier, what would you do differently? Or what advice would you give to people at the start of this journey? So without having to, no one wants to put anyone through 6 to 7 years of infertility.
No, I don't wish that on anybody.
Yeah, neither do I. And that's why the work that we do is so important. But what would you do differently? Or what advice would you give to someone going down this journey at the beginning of the journey? I think the earlier the better. I'd love to talk to people and help these, like, helping people in their 20s. So they don't have to do any of this in their 30s and 40s.
Correct. So even for an older couple like us, right? Early on the piece, if we actually said plan ahead, right? It's okay, cool. We are going to try natural for a year, 2 years. Again, project, right? In 2 years.
Well, as soon as you get married or before that, have the talk. It's like, when do we want to have children? When should we start planning? Like you said, project management, right? Planning your health, planning your life, planning timeframes.
I'll put my hand up. I was that guy that originally thought, IVF, science, fantastic, bang, done.
Yeah. If anything happens, we got IVF done.
Yeah, that's it. Backup. Unfortunately, the backup isn't always a backup.
You need a backup for the backup.
You need a backup for the backup, and the I think find a good support, as in like be supportive of each other.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing. Not down. And have to a specific time frame. So again, you said before, break it down as a project, right? How much it cost? What's the extra strategy is? How much?
How long are you willing to invest before you're like, okay, we're okay if it doesn't go? Like, you've got to say, like, for a project, if it doesn't work out, it's like, what's the time frame? If you're older parents or even younger parents, it's like, well, how many rounds? I mean, there's got to be a point where some people do say financially they can't do it. If they're older parents, time is a factor, right? IVF cutoffs are like 43 years old, right? In the Medicare system, right? Unless you go private, not everyone can afford private. So it's like you said, what are the different things that we need to manage and discuss early on so that we can manage the expectations.
And not only that, I think in the, probably jumping ahead, but even in the course, right? One of the biggest things I've got. So my project management background is in construction. And what it is, you got the safe work method statement normally before you start construction. The idea is that find out what are the triggers for yourself and for your partner as well. You can understand that. Then throughout the IVF journey, for example, me, Ellie, I love to make jokes. You know me, right?
Yeah, right? You're a jokester. You're known as a jokester.
Yeah. Some of the triggers for my wife is some of the jokes. I've got bad timing, particularly during IVF.
Oh, yes. It's not a time for joking.
No time for joking. You can have a bit of fun with it together.
Yes. You can be lighthearted.
Right, but not...
You never know when something could be taken out of context. We are super sensitive at that time.
Absolutely. And that's when, in the first few rounds that we did it, I did not understand that. I did not appreciate it. I go, why are you attacking me? Right? So I think, coming back to the question, the first thing is to take it seriously. Take it seriously. Have a deep conversation. So why do you want kids?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. What is the purpose? Like, why are we doing this? Is it for other people? Is it for our grandparents? Who really wants it? And are you truly both 100% committed into being the parents? Because it may be like, oh, it's just societal norm, right? But deep down, some people may not want children.
But you're correct. Not only that, right? But then you go, even dig really deep down as to why, like you said, why you want children? Is it because of to pass down genetic material, right? You pass down genetic material. If IVF doesn't work with your partner, then does using egg donor come into mind?
Yeah.
Or not? Or is it absolutely no?
Exactly. There's other, so you said project management. If it doesn't work with our own embryos and eggs, if we're going down sperm donor route, or I've got couples using sperm donor, egg donor, it's like, well, then are we okay with that? If we're willing to do whatever it takes to have children, if that comes into play, what is that discussion and what does that look like?
Yep. And absolutely. And also then look at yourself as guys. Look at yourself as well. Particularly you mentioned sperm donor. Guys can be quite egotistically minded and kind of a-holes, right?
I can be at times. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So no, don't apologize. I totally agree. I can be that way too. Just really understand what you're willing to go with.
Yeah. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to put up with? And what are you willing to sacrifice, right?
Absolutely.
Like there's so much. So again, what other things would you have done differently to support your journey at the beginning? But yeah, project management. Get a board, get a spreadsheet and start project managing.
Yeah. So project managing the deep down discussions. In hindsight, probably have like a book in a calendar invite with your partner once a week. Date night.
Conversation night.
Yeah, conversation night.
D&Ms.
Yeah. Netflix and chill. Well, not the chill because you're going through IVF. But yeah, that bit. Have a spend some time, because once you're in it, or even just if you're not in it, like just work life, right? That time is going to get away from you, and you want that firm foundation between you and her before you start going. Give me tough. it's gonna be bumpier than Parramatta Road.
Yeah. And that's stuff. Yeah, you've got to be willing to go the long journey and to really be able to be there for each other with 100%. Like you said, it's supporting them. It's being a good listener as well. Women love to talk, as you know, right? Sometimes you just have to take it all in. And if you don't know what to say, don't say anything at all.
And don't jump the solution straight away. Do not jump the solution straight away. Just stop.
Well, you're solution oriented, right? Especially in your background, right?
But just bite your tongue. Just bite your tongue and go, even if you need to write down notes, just go, okay, cool, I want to listen to you, but sometimes I get my head goes solution mode and just write down stuff so I can just focus on what you're saying. Even that, lead with this as a framework, okay? Because that's what the biggest support is.
Yeah. So what do you wish more men knew about, I guess, infertility and emotional health, right? Because we never know that they're going to come across infertility until they come across it.
Look, infertility, sometimes you can do stuff to tackle it for yourself, like myself, get fit, lift weights, better diet. Sometimes you can't.
Get checked, get all the right checks done early on.
Absolutely, get all checked.
We need to get all the checks done.
If you have any doubt, ask. If you have any queries, ask. Find out. Ask a specialist. If you've got a support network, ask a support network. That's quite critical, having that support. If you don't have the support network, unfortunately, then reach out to specialists like myself, counselor, coaching, whatever, right? Just reach out to them to help you guide you along. But with the infertility component to it, if you can invest in actually committing or doing something about it, whether it is health, doing that, or if it's genetic, then the investment to that bit is that support the partners. What do you want? Do you want to, if you do really want a kid, then are you open to sperm donor? Right?
Well, that's a last resort, obviously, we're looking at. We can save the sperm, and it doesn't take long. It's 3 to 6 months of really dedicated nutrition, diet, changing your diet, lifestyle around can make huge improvements, and some great supplements for people with all sorts of sperm parameters that we will talk about on another episode. But yes, it's so much that we can do, but a lot of men aren't doing that till it's too late, right? Yeah. And then they're already in the journey.
Man, if you can get fit earlier, it'll help you for your
20s. In your teens?
Yeah,
stay healthy in your 20s?
You know what? If I knew this from the get-go, even my teen years, then
you would be like getting fit from 13 or staying healthy, watching I was
like 120 kilograms in high school.
Just say one day you would be infertile and you can't have children. Would that knock some sense, right? Maybe not 13-year-old, maybe an 18-year-old.
Yeah, well, yeah. So 16, I was like 120, and I'm not a tall guy either. So I would, definitely get more exercise then. And then because even regardless of your age, even doing exercise, getting fit for pregnancy, for healthy sperm and healthy body and mind as well. Because healthy body, also mind as well.
Well, it starts with the mind,
Once
because if it starts with your mind, right, you can then have the resource. Your mind will say, well, we need to get healthy, and then your body will follow, right? But if your mind is in the wrong place, you're like, I'll just rely on IVF. I'll just do this. Other people can get pregnant. Like, if your mindset is not there, then your body's not going to listen.
It's an investment.
It is.
You got to invest in yourself and your partner as well. It's not just throwing money at it. Doesn't always work that way. No,
well, even if you had all the money, it's not that, right? It's what also the woman has to go through. I mean, like rounds of IVF, you've seen that, the injections, the drugs. It's not pleasant for sure.
These the injections, guys. Like I was a bit hesitant to inject as well for my wife because I don't want to hurt her. Mm-hmm. I'm like my first time going, oh, crap, am I gonna
well, you've got to be like a doctor. You've got to be almost like a doctor in itself. It's like, well, am I in the right, is it in the right spot? Is it working? Is it going to hurt? Is it?
And the bruising, Jesus.
There's a lot.
So health, investing in health, in mental and physical.
Important. If you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice at the start of the journey, what would it be?
Let go of the ego.
That's for the men. Yeah.
That's for the men. Absolutely for the men. Let go of the ego. For couples as a one unit is be open and caring to each other.
Yeah, right. We lose a lot of that.
No blame. No blame. Just you got a goal together. Work it through. Be supportive.
Yeah. And I guess lastly, being the man, how can we encourage more men like yourself to speak openly about their experiences? I know you're running a course. We'll talk about that in a sec. But just in general, how can we encourage men to just be more open about communication, about the experiences with infertility? Because it's hard for men, right? Like it's
hard for men. Look, I think There are a few men sheds you can talk about there as well, but I think, and there's a few, I think there's maybe one only, male infertility forum. Look, when I say go to those places and chat, there's a caveat though. I joined them during the 6 years and I left it. The reason why is because, yeah, you see other people going through it, but then while you're still in it and they're successful, people are happy. They'll cheer for it. And at that time, I found it hard to be happy for other people, and we end up becoming resentful.
Yes, right. The whole thing comes in play. No matter how strong you are, there's always that little bit of jealousy or resentment when that comes in, right? When you see other people posting about their happy stories 1 year in or however long it takes. I mean, look, you're happy for them because people are on the same journey, but then again, you're disappointed.
And in hindsight, I feel pretty crappy about that feeling, particularly because I felt the same way when friends had kids as well.
Yeah. So, when's it gonna happen to me? Damn it!
That's right. So yeah, I'm so happy for you. Yeah, but I think there are those. Just be mindful. But I think having a conversation. I think there's no harm having a conversation with people you trust, right? Yeah. Other guys you trust, because you don't know because the conversation piece isn't first in the forefront now with guys. It also then it's up to you to have that first conversation as well. You never know. They might know someone else has gone through it. Right? But then they can either have a certain level of understanding, or they can introduce you to the other person to have a discussion. But regardless, having that first step of actually discussing it, 1, raises awareness, and 2, makes it natural. And number 3, later on, you never know when the other person you're talking to it, has to go through the same crap that you just gone through, then you can help them. Then they will come back to you, right? And you can help then support them.
Yeah. Amazing. So do you want to tell everyone sort of a little bit about what you started, given your journey? I know you've just started the new art of IVF. So, yeah. What is the art of IVF all about? I know, it's really for the men who are going through, this tough journey. And like you said, there's not much out there for men to seek support from it. Just talking to other men, right? It's different talking to a woman. I love to help couples in the journey together with the foundational work and looking at, how we can get ready. But just the piece where you can just be able to chat to other men is so, it's different.
Yeah, it is different. I think because, so the art of IVF, correct, starts on the 28th of March. Virtual. It's 6 weeks. 6 weeks. It goes 6 weeks, an hour each week, so it doesn't take too much of your time. But there is homework, guys. There is homework. You got to do your homework, okay? You can't just
Well, there's always homework. I mean, even if you got to get healthy, you got to, do all these things. Be able to have the tools and communication skills to communicate.
Yeah.
It's a journey to grow and learn, right? Otherwise,
correct. And the communication aspect to it you mentioned as well is different communication styles. But with this, because it's primarily for men, I'm not going to say no partners, you can't come along, right? It's primarily for men, you can come. Particularly the last 2 sessions, I encourage partners to join as well, because then there's the whole component to it where you've learned, you understand what they've learned so far. But it's also much more, I'm going to talk to you straight in the sessions, right? I'm going to call you out on stuff if you need to be called out on, but I'm not going to demonize you. That's a real talk in that thing. But at the same time, learn from what I've gone through, what my mistakes are, learn from the traps that I fall into. The whole idea is that it combines my psych background, I was saying before, my psych background, counseling background, and project management. So every week there's a toolkit for you to use and to understand that helps strengthen the relationship and the understanding of yourself as well as you go into the whole journey. And the whole structure is that at the end of each session, we'll just have an open discussion. What's troubling you right now? What are your questions you can need to ask answered? You never know. Someone else in the group may have gone through that 2 cycles before you, right? Let's create that support network there.
Thanks, Ivan. And hopefully we don't have to go down the IVF journey, or not too many. Like, what I'd love to help clients is to not be able to go down 6 or 7 years of that, right? If we need IVF, we want to be well prepared. Like I said, it all comes down to what we're doing initially. But should we need to go down, right, then you've got the tools to really, go through, because it is a tough journey. That's why I say IVF is the absolute last resort, right? We're looking at everything before then, and we don't wish it upon anyone. But if we do, there's definitely tools that we can help, the men out there going through the journey as well as the women.
I'll use maybe an analogy that might suit the guys, right? If you got a drill bit, if your drill bit is blunt, you're going to be drilling a lot of pain into that timber. Sharpen the drill bit. They say get it all ready, get it set up. get healthy.
Yeah. And we got to do it from early on. The earlier you're listening to this, like today is a good day to start, right? It's like no matter even if you're going to have children or not, I think it's just the whole piece around holistic health, understanding your body, being healthy mentally, emotionally. If you've got trauma, which we'll talk about probably in one episode down the track, that trauma, all of that, like there's so much that we can cover in getting ready to being healthy, and then one day being that healthy father, energetic, healthy, happy father, because we want to live a long life as well. Like, you want to be there to see your kids possibly have children, so, we've got to live to 120. It's not impossible, but we definitely have to do the right things to live to 120 these days.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome, Ivan. It was great having a chat with you. Thank you so much for sharing your personal story. I hope you all got a lot out of it, especially you men. I hope you learned a few things or two. I will pop in the show notes how you can contact us both, but I hope you enjoyed our chat, and we'll speak to you all next time.
Thank you. Thanks, Ellie.
Thanks for joining. Thank you for tuning in to the Holistic Health and Hormones podcast. If you found today's episode inspiring or informative, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. It helps us reach more people just like you on their journey to vibrant health and balance. For more tips, resources, or to work with me directly, visit my socials or websites. And remember, your health is your superpower. So keep nurturing it, and I'll see you next time.